pounds. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. Let's go. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want a ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
It's so good to be a Detroit Lions fan right now, living the life, having a good time. Before we went live, I was talking to these guys, and we were laughing and joking about the rest of the NFC North. Y'all deserve it, man. Lions fans, it's been fans forever. This season's for you. It's a great season. Everything's changing. Lions top 5 in power rankings pretty much everywhere. Lions got a good offense, defense winning, and the NFC North is choking. This is freaking fantastic, folks. So, everybody in the comment section, pat yourself on the back for being a Lions fan as long as you have. I know Dan, he's old. I know that Ant-Man, he looks old. We've been Lions fans for some time, and it's finally we get to see the fruits of our anguish that we've been dealing with for the past 30-some years. So we got Ant-Man here from Roar the Lions UK. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. What's up, Ant-Man?
I mean, Mike, we're 5 weeks into the season, and we're 2.5 games clear at the top of the NFC North. I don't know what could be any nicer than that. Jordan Love is throwing picks quicker than he can get the ball in his hand. The Vikings are fighting for the number 1 pick, and the Bears are fighting for the number 1 pick. And it's just like you said, this is years and years and years of frustration, of being bullied, of being abused, and now we can turn it all and start firing back. And I love it.
Man, you brought up that funny point. Yeah, after the loss to the Packers, or the Packers losing last night, I decided to troll their SB Nation account over there, and all their fans are saying, "Let's tank for a quarterback." Same with what the Chicago Bears and the Vikings are saying. They're all tank mode, and it's good that we're not in that discussion. We got Dan from Lions Talk Live. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Always going live there, talking football. What's going on, Dan?
Just another beautiful day to be a Lions fan. We've got the morning show every morning, 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to, we'll say 7:30, 7:45. And, it's a great time to be a Lions fan, maybe for the first time in 30-plus years.
And, folks, if you have a chance to go on all these sites on the Packers and the Norsemans for the Vikings and all, do it and just smile when you're reading all these tank comments because it feels so good that we're not a part of it. So if you get bored, go ahead and read it and have a good time and a good smile. It puts a smile on my face. It feels really, really good. The Lions face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday. Pretty big game. I think the next 4 weeks is really going to be telling for the Detroit Lions, starting with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For me, this is like this 4 weeks, the next 4 weeks could be really pretty much cement if the Lions win the NFC North early, in my opinion. Like if you go to Tampa Bay, you beat Tampa Bay, you go to Baltimore and beat Baltimore, and then you're home against the Raiders. Ant-Man, this is looking pretty good for the Lions, especially with the NFC North sucking besides us.
I mean, I was saying to you before this, it's 7-8 weeks before we face another NFC North team, and there's the very real possibility that the division is done and dusted before we've even played our second game, which is just absolutely crazy. But the other teams are just in so much disarray, and we've got our stuff together. We've gone about it the right way. You look at the Vikings; they've been middling for so long now. They've not pulled the trigger on a rebuild when they should have. We've taken our lumps and we're getting up to the top now. We look great, and the window is there. Like you said, the next 4 weeks are going to be big because a lot of them road trips now. You do the business at home, but can you, under pressure, division lead is yours. Your fate is in your own hands now. Can you go on the road and replicate this? But I think the way that One Pride travels, the fans, I think the mindset that these fans have, the players have, I look at every single game in a one-on-one shell for the rest of this season, and I don't see one game where we're out-favored, where we're outgunned, where we're outmanned. Obviously, any given Sunday will dictate you might lose a few, but for the most part, one-on-one, we're better than everyone we're coming up against. And that starts this weekend. And I expect them to put their foot down and to really make themselves known now on the road as well as at home.
Years past, when I'd say we're on the road, I'd be nervous. But I want to know, you guys in the comment section, everybody on the panel, I'm not nervous, man. I feel like this team travels because you can run. We're a physical team, man, and that stuff travels. The run game and the defense. Like, I almost feel like, and like you said, the Lions fans travel so damn well. They always talk about the Steelers fan, but I got to tell you what, Lions fans been traveling, man. And guess what? They're going to be a lot of blue in Tampa. I'm not worried about I feel like the Lions are a better chance sometimes winning on the road than even at home. It's just they're just such a good road breaker of a team there, Dan.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Mike. You look at how we're constructed both offensively and defensively. It all starts with the line of scrimmage, and we own typically against most teams we're going to face all season those lines of scrimmage. We're going to be able to impose our will offensively and then take away half of your offensive scheme defensively. We're so sound against the run, we force teams, even though they do keep trying, to get one-dimensional, especially in the second half. So we're going to keep pounding on teams. We're going to set up the opportunity to get double-digit leads against the vast majority of the competition we're going to face, which means in the second half of games, especially the latter part of the third, early part of the fourth, you now force that opposing offense to become one-dimensional and have to only pass.
David says, I'm only nervous in the snow. I'm not even nervous about that because of David Montgomery and our ability to run the football. I think they're establishing this right now that we can beat you in any different way. We can beat you in the air. We can beat you on the ground. We can beat you defensively. And so when it gets colder out, it's like, okay, well, maybe our air is not that great. But guess what? David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, we're just going to smash you. And in the fourth quarter, it's done. You're going to be giving up 7 yards a carry every single time. I've been praying for this for years, and it feels like we finally got it. Let's go ahead, though, and let's talk about the Lions offense versus the Buccaneers defense. Transition a little bit, but I'm really, really damn happy. And all you Lions fans that's traveling to Tampa, shout out to you guys. Keep traveling. Keep doing this. We love it, man. We love turning every stadium to Ford Field. That's freaking awesome. Lions offense right now, 29.6 points per game. That's fourth in the National Football League. Looks like last year. Total yards per game, 384.4. Sixth in the National Football League. Passing yards, 243.4. Ninth in the NFL. Rushing yards, 141.0. Seventh in the National Football League. Turnovers, Lions plus 114. That's a good offense, okay? Our offense has continued with Ben Johnson. These guys are electric, and we did it without some of our weapons. Ant-Man, talk about the offense really quick.
I mean, it's just so dynamic and diverse in how it runs. I mean, we've just put up 42 points without arguably two of our biggest playmakers the weekend just gone. And why can we do that? Because we have so many versatile weapons that we utilize. We don't need stars. We don't need Justin Jeffersons. We don't need these big guys. We have lots of great guys in the building. Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, Sam Laporta, who's a budding star, and we utilize these guys correctly. We run the ball hard, which is great because the last few years we've struggled a little bit with that. Monty is the signing of the season, like without a doubt. The way he moves the chains, the amount he runs, the tackles forced, the missed tackles forced, all that. It starts with him. And then, Jared Goff is playing the best football of his career. And it's because he's got a great group of targets to go at who they utilize properly. The play calling, the execution was the great thing I love seeing the other day. Everything from the blocking to the catching, all of it. The way the plays were executed was just amazing. Ben Johnson keeps on just slowly evolving it, adding in more trick plays, just keeps you guessing. It's impossible for opposition defensive coordinators to know what they're coming up against. So it just starts with great personnel on there everywhere. And I love it. And I say, we're not reliant on one guy. One falls, another comes up. It keeps going seamlessly. So, yeah, it's the offense is just so potent and so dangerous. One of the best in the NFL
Yeah,
for me.
top 5. Right now, Lions, if you look at the category statistics, they're top 5 offense in the National Football League. They're going against Tampa Bay, who's a top 10 defense. Points allowed per game for Tampa Bay, 17, 8th in the NFL. Yards allowed per game, 318.5, 11th in the National Football League. Passing yards per game, 223.8, 16th in the NFL. And rushing yards, and this is going to be an interesting one, that's 94.8, 10th in the NFL. So they're good rush defense. So top 5 Lions offense traveling to Tampa Bay. That's top 10 defense. Dan, what do you see in that matchup specifically?
I think you're going to see probably more trickery out of Ben Johnson than maybe any other game, just because the way you look at the Bucs defense, how they're constructed, they really flow well to the ball, and especially as you noted in their run defense. So you're going to see the backers follow the front line of the Buccaneers defense. They're going to flow all one direction, and that's going to set up a lot of bootlegs, a lot of, maybe double reverse flea flickers. And I think early and often, if we can hit them just a couple times, catch them off guard, you're going to start forcing some hesitancy. You do that, then the run game and the play action, which we all know Goff really excels at, will open up exponentially.
Now, you think Tampa Bay Buccaneers is a really good offense because they're 3-1. That's not the case at all. Their offense is actually terrible. We'll give you the points here going against the Lions defense. Buccaneers offense, points per game, 21, 20th in the National Football League. Yards per game, 301, 22nd in the NFL. Passing yards, 214, 15th in the NFL. Rushing, 87, 25th in the NFL. What they excel at is turnovers. They're +7. That's second in the National Football League. The Detroit Lions defense is actually not going against a good offense. And I think the Lions defense is going to handle them well, because if you look at the Lions defense right now, 15th in the NFL, points allowed, 21. 6th in the NFL, yards allowed, 292. 17th in passing, 224. Rushing, 68.4, third in the NFL. Ant-Man, you look at this. Lions defense, it's pretty like a top 15 defense, right? And they're going against an offense that's one of the worst. What do you expect on Sunday?
I mean, they have no run game at all. I think Rashad White's best day this season is 73 yards. He's not been past 50 yards more than once. That's how you get to them. That's why they're not scoring much. You can't sustain your drives. You're having to put it all on Baker. And for us, I think you're just going to absolutely throttle the living daylights out of that running game. And then you saw what happened against the Panthers. It forces it onto the quarterback. And that is when your defensive line goes and does its work, creates the opportunities for your secondary for takeaways, picks. And I see it happening exactly the same way again. You cannot run the football, and we have stopped much better running attacks this year. So you win the line of the scrimmage, you collapse that pocket, and Baker's just not agile enough to go out and make these big plays. You can't put the game on him for the entire game and expect them to get points. That's why they've not scored more than 26 all season. When you're so unbalanced as an offense, it's hard to score points, and you'll be getting a lot of garbage time stuff. And you've played some really bad teams as well. I don't buy into their run defense either, because you've played. The only good team they've played is the Eagles, and the Eagles routed them for over 200 yards on the ground. So I don't even think it's a good run defense. I think you go and smash that in the face as well if you're an offensive guy, because that's how you break them. But certainly our defense, we've got everything we need. We've got the run defense, and we've got the pass rush to go and absolutely kill him. And I expect us to do exactly what the Eagles did to them.
100%. I think the Detroit Lions will win this game. We'll get into score predictions here in a little bit. Jeremy says, #Mike, Tampa has 2 cornerbacks out, Cansey out. Also may not have Mike Evans. If Mike Evans doesn't play, the Lions going to win this game. He is their offense. That is pretty much it. Having Cansey out in their top corners, Lions, I think look, if you protect Jared Goff, you give him 4 seconds in the pocket, it's done. This dude finds everybody open. He has been a mastermind by reading defense. Everybody talks about Jared Goff, about what's he really good at. I got to say this. He is damn good at reading defense and put the football where somebody's open. What do you think about that, Dan? Like, we're going against, they could be injured, right? And no corners, their best interior defensive lineman out, Mike Evans out. What do you think, will happen in this game?
Well, let's start with the injuries. We'll worry about that stuff on Saturday when it becomes official. Right now, most of it's speculation. I mean, they could be simply doing the opposite of what we did Sunday, in that they're simply saying, hey, we don't have a chance to win this game. Let's rest these guys and play for higher probability wins, because they know they've got a shot at the playoffs. They may understand if they can rest somebody to get them better prepared for a game after Detroit, that increases their opportunities to get to the postseason. To your point about the quarterback, think about how many young rookie or just younger quarterbacks struggle in this league. There are very few Justin Herberts that come in and really light things up.
Yeah.
Most rookie quarterbacks take a few years. And I'll also say we're the beneficiaries of somebody overreacting to someone like Goff. Goff, you look at his career in LA, up and down. Obviously, the Super Bowl year, he was lights out, off the charts. The following year, he was kind of meh. But to your point, also, what you're saying is this guy now isn't a rookie. He's been in the league, 7 years or so. He's 28. He's hitting that point where he's seen most defenses. He understands how to read things. Now you back up a veteran quarterback with a good offensive line, with a strong running game and play action. You give him confidence. You keep him healthy. Yeah, I think he's going to be a tough quarterback to beat this year.
He is. Look, he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, and that's perfectly fine, but he has an elite IQ. And I'm going to say that right now. At this point, like, he dissects teams. You give this guy time, he can read defenses. I don't need the strongest arm in the world, right? Yeah, I don't need to have a Matthew Stafford freaking arm. You know what I want? I want somebody that can distribute the football to who's open and keep that offense moving. And he's a winner, okay? The dude closes out games, and he's got ice in his veins. I get told this a lot. Like, who'd you take, Matthew Stafford or Jared Goff? I'll take Jared Goff. I would right now. It's just, I'm loving what he's doing. He's very confident. He understands. He's in complete control of this offense, absolute complete control. And I'm loving that so much. Him and Ben Johnson and these guys are doing a great. He's, like I said, Allen says not flashy, but he gets the job done 100%. You look at Brock Purdy, he ain't flashy. God dang, he looks pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? So, Ant-Man, what do you think about this? Jared Goff going against this Buccaneers defense. Do you think he's going to continue to play really, really well and dissect him?
I think he's in the form of his life at the moment. I genuinely do, even though he's had a couple of picks lately. But it's a massive improvement. He's not let it bother him. No. Like Jared Goff, when he first came here, made a mistake, crumbled to pieces because his confidence was shot. Yeah. He is now completely and utterly rebuilt with that confidence. Like you said, he's seen the field so well. He's got a good rapport with just about all of his receivers. And, even sometimes when the run game ain't doing it, he's making big clutch drives right early. I mean, that first drive against the Panthers, I think it was the second throw to Jones. He got absolutely sandwiched by two guys as he's making that throw. He is calm. He is in control. He is making good decisions. And I expect him to carry that on because he's got a lot of people to prove wrong. He's on his redemption tour at the minute. And there are a lot of people who look really stupid for things that they've said about him. And the form he's in, I expect him to fully carry it on. I know this Tampa D-line's good, but our O-line's good. Our offense is good. And I fully expect them to match up to it. So, yeah, I think he's going to carry on going. And I tell you what, I know I'm ready to give him a new contract now. Just about. It's
happening at the bye week.
Yeah, I'm ready for it to happen because as akin to quarterbacks, it's incredibly difficult to find one. It's incredibly difficult to also find a good one who truly buys in to your team. You look at someone like Kyler Murray, who's highly talented, really good quarterback, but he is quite clearly not invested in that team the way Jared Goff is invested in Detroit. He has taken on the identity of this city. He is leading from the front. He has completely transformed himself to be the leader of this team. And it is rare to find somebody like that. So when you find them, you keep them. You can go and get a flashy toy from the draft, but you could so easily regress from where you're at. I think he fits us absolutely perfectly. So I expect his form to carry on, and I'm ready for him to get a new deal here.
And you're starting to see some teams like, because it seems you see trends, right? Teams like, okay, I want a mobile quarterback dual threat, and I do too. I love Hendon Hooker. I absolutely. But now you're starting to see like, okay, the pocket pass are starting to come back a little bit now because you got the Jared Goff, you got the Brock Purdy out there doing his thing. You're starting to see some young guys that, even though Brock Purdy can't move, but you're seeing, okay, now we need to go a little bit towards some of that, right? And I think that it's interesting how it works. But Jared Goff's doing really good. I'm happy for him. Really am, because when he got traded, he was thrown in the dustbin. And it's not all him, folks. They're right. It's the offensive line. It's 100%. Like you gotta have guys that can block for you and all that type of stuff, and then you can win with a guy like Jared Goff for sure. So, but he's done good. And what I was told is probably by the bye week is when the extension happens for Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. I don't know exactly how much or anything like that. That's what I've been told. And Dan, he's getting his face moving. Are you hearing something as well?
I guess we'll see what happens, but I think he's going to be a cap friendly number for Detroit Lions fans versus waiting to the end of the season when potentially that number grows up a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. And look, if we win next 3 games, like, can you really? And he has been playing really well. It's like you said, he throws a pick, but it's not consecutive like Jordan Love threw 3 picks. Okay, it's 1 pick, make a mistake. All quarterbacks do it. He's like, oh, okay, I just go back out there and do it again. Don't make the same mistake.
And the thing is, it's like people are now trying to say, oh, yeah, but when Ben Johnson goes next year, it's going to be terrible. It's just like, well, hang on. First, you all are saying it was McVay who made him and the Rams that made him. Now it's Ben Johnson. It's a quarterback is playing elite football under several different guys and playing really well. It's like, hang on. He's not this guy who needs someone to be his handler for him to be good. He's obviously a pretty good, damn good quarterback, whoever's calling the plays for him. It's like the excuse list is growing now. He's earned this deal. He has.
Yes. And I love that they drafted Hendon Hooker, and he can sit there and learn. Like, sit there and learn and grow for sure. And Rod Detroit says he's a great game manager, and that's not a bad thing. Like, I think
why is that an insult now?
It's like, not an insult anymore. He's not. He's a top 10 quarterback. He's managing the game. He's not doing too many dumb things. I would rather him throw it away than throw multiple picks. You know what I'm saying? So it's just he's doing pretty good, and I absolutely love it. Now we got the trade deadline coming up. Before we get to some questions, we'll get to the trade deadline, and then we'll do some QA. But before the trade deadline talk, let's talk about prediction for this game. I'll start first. I got the Detroit Lions winning this game. I think they can win 28-21. Dan, what do you got?
I'm not that far from you. I think we're going to be 34-20. I just think our defense is going to put a hurting on Mayfield.
Dak is a terrible game manager, by the way. Dak is, man, he's throwing a lot of interceptions.
Goff is better than Dak, like pure out.
Yeah, Rise 100%. It's not a negative comment. It's not.
Like one thing I would say is you brought it up a couple minutes ago about the mobile quarterback progression that you had in the NFL. Now kind of going away from it. Look what's happened to Dak and a few other mobile quarterbacks. They never evolved as pocket passers who could run and scramble. They relied on their ability to run, get out of the pocket, make plays. But now that Dak and others have gotten beat up a little bit and no longer physically can do that, there's just not much upside to that quarterback. He can't read. He can't throw. He never learned that aspect of the games. You're probably looking at the Cowboys trying to get somebody else next season. And I think you're seeing the Chicago staff try to evolve Justin Fields into that. And to his credit,
he was involved.
Yeah. And on the flip side, Jared Goff's evolving into Michael Vick right now. I mean, we've got two rushing touchdowns. You can see him now. It's in his eyes. He's like, yeah, I want more of these.
It's so slow, but he wants it so bad. It's so funny because he's not fast at all, but it's great when he does do it. Because it's like reminds me of Peyton Manning when he did it like one time.
Oh,
but
that rollout one.
Yeah, that rollout, that was hilarious, man. So what do you got for prediction for this game, Ant-Man?
45-17 to the Lions. I think we're going to absolutely crush them. That run defense is a fraud for them. The Eagles absolutely dissected them to bits. We will drives, long, sustained, Baker's trash, I think we'll get after them. I think this is the one where people will really start to take notice of us now because it is on the road. I think we're going to destroy them.
Brock Purdy's a game manager. He's a damn good one. He's one of the best quarterbacks. He could be up there for MVP. It's not an insult at all. He's got a great team around him. I want a great team around. Like, every quarterback wants that. You get Kirk Cousins, all those weapons and a defense, and everybody else will be saying the same thing. So 100%, man. Yeah, so we all got the Lions winning. I'm sure you guys in the comment section got the Lions winning. Put that in there. Trade deadline, Ant-Man. We're getting close, right? And we lost Emmanuel Mosley for the year. What do you think? Should the Lions make a move? Should we stick with Jerry Jacobs and maybe, again with like Steve Gilmore or what? What are you thinking?
I think you should make moves regardless. Even if this injury to Mosley doesn't happen, even if it's not a corner, I think when you're a good team, you should always be looking to add more good pieces to your team. And the deadline's a good one because, teams have to undersell a lot of the time. And if I'm Holmes at the minute, I'm just going to sit and wait for the market to come to me because you are starting to see teams implode already. The rest of the NFC North is in shambles. The NFC South, the guys at the bottom are going to start panicking. And that's when you can really start striking and getting good deals out of it. So I'm absolutely behind doing so. But in terms of Mosley, we've never had him. And this defense has still been really good. Now, I know you've got to factor in that CJ's out, but we've not had CJ for a few weeks now either. And we've still been good. Hell, we didn't even have Branch the other day, and we were still good. So I'm not going out and making a big signing like Satan or something like that. I'm not giving up that capital and I'm not giving up that money. We've been very sensible in our roster construction. We can use that pick in the draft next year to get a younger corner on a rookie contract and build through that way. But wait for the market to come to you and the value comes with it. So yeah, I'm 100% buying at this if the right guy's there at any position.
I'm a buyer too at any position. I'm not just doing it to do it, but man, everything's falling in line. Lions are good. I'd like to see them make a move. What about you, Dan? What are you hearing? What do you think?
Well, I'm sure anybody who's watched the channel is aware the last week or two, I've had some videos up there about some of the conversations Brad Holmes has had with other teams. And just because you talk with somebody doesn't mean you're pulling the trigger, but it does seem like he's established relationships with the Broncos, Redskins, and Titans for sure. You look at what those teams have parts-wise that the Lions would want to pick up. Surtain, I think that would be an extreme move by him. But at the same time, I'd pose this question to you and everybody out there. If we did give up, say, a first or second, and our goal is to make the Super Bowl, you're really giving up a early second and an early third if you think about it. So I can't say that Brad Holmes is going to do anything, but I do believe he's going to make a move for some form of defensive line and cornerback help. We'll see who it is. I don't think he's going to go for a home run player, but I do think he's going to add some depth.
Yeah, you got to be thinking about at this point, like if you're thinking trade deadline, it's not about winning the NFC North. You think you got that. It's about how can I beat the 49ers, in my opinion. I'm not even saying Eagles. I'm going straight to 49ers because I think they're the best team in the NFL. At this point, it does look like they'll be the number one seed, right? And you're going to have to travel over there. So how can you match up well against the 49ers? So that's something that you got to pay attention to. Max Crosby looked great, but I think they're 2-3. They're not going to trade him. You got to look at the teams that are 1 win or 0 at this point, or in the next couple weeks continue to lose, like a Denver Broncos that has 0 hope. Right. So you got to look at the really bad teams.
Yeah, and you've got to say, is it worth it? Because, I mean, we've got Pascal coming back very shortly, and the pass rush has been very potent already. And again, for what you're giving up, is it worth it for this year? Because I agree with you. I think the NFC North is ours to win. I don't think you need to upgrade to win the NFC North. So you said it's how far do you believe you can truly get in the postseason? If you do believe you can get to the Super Bowl, then you would go and get Crosby and just use everyone and cause hell. But I don't know. I don't think he's ready. I don't feel we're ready for that just yet. I feel like in 12 months we'd have that conversation for a marquee guy to get there. But I still think we'll get some good talent here, but I just don't think someone like that just yet.
We'll see, man. A couple weeks away. Trick or treat Halloween day. So we shall see, but I think the Lions should be buyers. Should be buyers. That's what I want to see. Folks, if you got questions, throw it in the comment section. Mailbag segment, you got to do hashtag Lions, hashtag something. If I miss it, repost it. If I miss it again, repost it again. That's just what happens. Do you think we could get the number 1 seed? I don't believe we get the number 1 seed. I think San Francisco right now is so dominant and their schedule is easy. I don't even know if they lose a game in the regular season. That's how damn dominant they look. What do you guys think? And
I think they're very similar to us. They're very dominant at the line of scrimmage on both sides of ball, and they're also incredibly creative. And that's very hard to combat. They're kind of like the more finished article of what we want to be. Like in 12 months, we'll be like them for sure. But I think there is just a bit too much there now. The only way you can really beat them is if you can take the run game away and force Purdy into more awkward throws. I just don't think we're quite there yet. This D line's still young and evolving, and that O line's so good. So I think we could get the 2 seed, maybe, but I think 3 is the likely one. And hell, 2 years ago, I would bite your hand off for the 3 seed when Holmes took over. And plus, it's looking very favorable because you're probably going to get the NFC South winner there at the minute, and it's a garbage league.
I love playing Atlanta. We were talking that before, man. Atlanta comes. Yeah. Let's go ahead and just demolish these guys. What do you think there, Dan? About
I think you're playing for the number 2 seed right now. I do think Philadelphia and Dallas potentially split. Philadelphia, while they've been winning, they don't look like the same team a year ago. You hear about the person who loses the Super Bowl has a little bit of a slump, and maybe they get the ship right. But I think their schedule, when you look at theirs versus Detroit's, is a whole lot less favorable than Detroit's. Detroit, I think, is in position. I can't be the only one who sees it. I think the front office and for the Lions sees it too. You're in win-now mode because there's no guarantees what happens next year. So if you can get that number 2 seed and then potentially don't have to play the 49ers to the NFC Championship and force Philadelphia to face the 49ers, before the conference championship, I think that's the best route for Detroit. So if I'm Brad Holmes, I'm all in on this because there's no guarantee this comes up again. Your schedule next year will be significantly more challenging than it is this year.
How good does it feel that the Detroit Lions is a desirable location where guys want to play? I love it, man. You get a winning culture. People want to win. That's just the way it is. People don't want to be a bunch of losers. Ain't nobody want to lose. So I love it. I absolutely love it. Keep posting comments. I'm missing them. I guarantee you I missed it. Who's one player you would like to go and get? Well, the injury, I'm not going to lie. I'd love to get Patrick Surtain, and he's 23 years old, still 2 years left on his rookie deal. I would love to get him. It would cost a S-ton, but at the same time, man, oh my God. Like, you'd have Sutton, Surtain, and then whoever hell would be doing that could be Brian Branch, and like it would be pretty good. But what about you, Mr. Dan?
I'm going cornerback first, just because I think when you get Pascal back, you get Houston back, that defensive front's pretty legit, and I love the fact that they're moving Campbell around. Somebody pointed out something in my chat a week or so ago. We had a conversation about how the defense was evolving into more or less a hybrid under 3-4 setup where you have Hutch wide one side, you have Barnes and Campbell coming the other side. I think we're going to be able to put pressure on a lot of teams and shut down a lot of teams. But you're going to have to also hold up in the secondary. We all get Jerry Jacobs has been picked on. Yes, he's had 3 picks in the last 2 games. But some of the reason he's getting those picks is because teams keep targeting him. They're not targeting Sutton.
He says here, talking about the Bucs offense here, bad, but if you look at the stats, Bucs offense is not good. 20th in points per game, 22nd in total yards, 15th in passing, 25th in rush offense. That's not that great. So, I mean, they got a top 10 defense, but they still need some help over there offensively. But Mike Evans is damn good wide receiver for sure. Let's see. How about getting Starling Thomas back from Arizona? I ain't worried about all that. I mean,
I'd go and fleece the Vikings for Daniil Hunter and make them eat that contract. Just go completely psycho on the D line.
Derek says, Roar, when you come into America?
Draft. We'll be there for the draft. Don't you
Okay.
worry. So yeah, we all come in for the draft.
Keep posting questions. I'm have to go up and down. Favorite nickname: Monty Python, Double B Ranch, or Crazy Legs Craig Reynolds? I like Monty Python the best. First, I like that one. Let's see. Didn't seem like they went after Harris or Thielen. 8 of Huss 11 receptions were on Harris. What was his PFF? I don't know Harris's PFF grade, but they did. Everybody targets Will Harris.
Right.
I mean, that's just like a given. Because they're not targeting Cam Sutton. Y'all overrating the Bucks. They beat the Vikings, Bears, and Saints. Who'd they play?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not a lot. He says, is Surtain available? Per reports, everybody on that defense is available. They're having a meltdown over there.
I can throw a little bit at that, Mike. It sounds like the coach is okay with the trade. The GM is not.
Okay. Don Burr says Jefferson for a 6th-round pick. He's a Brad Holmes guy. Goff has chemistry. So he's wanting to get a wide receiver right there. But then the J-Mo thing, right? It's like, man, you got J-Mo. We want to get this guy some touches. Josh Reynolds, you don't want him off the field. Khalif Raymond, you don't want him off the field. St. Brown, you don't want him off the field. And, so it's difficult. But maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Did Brad Holmes inquire about Simmons in Tennessee?
Yes.
He did. So, look, I don't think that's happening. So I'm just getting right there. Keep posting questions, folks, in the comments section. We are good at wide receiver. I think we're okay at wide receiver. I don't think we're great. I don't think we're poor. I think we're good, especially how we use them. Let's see. Do you think that we should get another running back because of Knight's going down? No, I don't. What do you think, A-Man?
I think you can always find depth knocking around for running backs. So I would find someone I could stash on the practice squad and be ready. But I would find someone ready to start, like Knight was. He was sort of stashed away on there, and you've got to retain your depth. But Gibbs will be back soon enough, so not a starter, but I would certainly bring more depth in.
I have no problem with depth in any position. But like, you're talking starter. It's like, can we get back up left tackle so Panay don't have to switch sides again? We got Taylor Decker. He's been at left tackle. He's good to go. He says trade J-Mo for Surtain and a 2nd-round pick. I don't think they would do that. What do you think you guys? What do you think, Dan?
I don't see James Williams leaving. I think they still believe what they drafted him for. That's what he's going to become. He's really on his rookie season here.
Do you think we actually get a cornerback since Mosley went down? Do you actually think, not what you want? Ant-Man, what do you think they do?
I think they do because you need depth. If Sutton goes down, then you're in bother. So depth-wise, yes, you do.
What about you, Dan?
100%.
So 2 depths. I'm with you there. I said, because man, like this was a prize pickup. And I know that Jerry Jacobs he's done well, but this is already week 5. Going into week 6, and you already lost your number 2. So, I do think you should. Do you think Branch missing games will affect his defensive rookie of the year chances? It just depends how long he misses. If it's just a game or 2, no. But if it's like a lot longer than that, yeah. Stop the trade, the J-Mo. It's not happening. Like, it's not happening. Okay, let's see. When Jameson Williams gets his football legs under him, his speed kills. Yes, but he just got to get his hands first under him. He's got to catch the football. Yeah.
All these guys develop at different paces. I mean, look, we're seeing Derek Barnes for the first time this year, and that's year 3. And they persisted with him. They have taken their time, and they're getting reward for their investment. Now, everyone goes, he's a 1st-round pick. He should be amazing right away. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. And the track record that this coaching staff has of developing its rookies, I'm absolutely fine if he's not a superstar right away. Take the time, develop him properly, get the rewards from it. So
I always give players 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
He's in right now year 2. and he's played in his first game in year 2. So, like, look, Derek Barnes took 3 years for this dude to become a stud. Like, everybody's like, man, what a wasted pick. And now it's like, damn, Derek Barnes, they got to be on the field. So it just takes people different times. Did anybody expect Sam Laporta to be the best tight end in the NFL's rookie year? Hell no, but he just learned it quick.
And everyone thought Campbell was going to be a starter by now. He's not. I mean, where's that all gone? He's not taking the snaps we thought he would be. But you know what? That's fine. Because Derek Barnes is in there doing the work that we need him to. And you can work Campbell in. And you know, J-Mo's not exactly not doing anything. His blocking is phenomenal. That hard, nitty-gritty work that you do in the trenches, he's doing well. That's the stuff you can't teach. Look at Chase Claypool. You can't teach guys to be that aggressive in the trenches and do the dirty work for their teammates. When Monty goes into the end zone for his touchdown, he's the first guy there congratulating him because he's running down, blocking the field with him. He's got the right attitude. There's not a mentality thing here. It's just he's not played much football. You know, he's going to take time. And that drop the other day, he's got a middle linebacker who's about to absolutely pile drive the living daylights out of him. There are a lot of other receivers who would have dropped that. So it's absolutely nowhere near panic stations with him. He does the stuff that you can't teach. So we just need to see him become the better receiver now. But if it takes time, it takes time. So be it.
The only thing I want to see him do is to catch footballs. That's it. That's his job. If it hits your in your hands, catch it. Be good to go there. Lisa Del Lorenzo, #feed. This team is built with excellent depth. Do we really need, not want, anyone else? I don't think we need. I think you're right. It's a want. It's an upgrade. That's what I say. Need, no. Other teams need. I think our depth is so damn good that we don't need. It's not going to kill us. Like we lost St. Brown. St. Brown didn't play. Didn't affect us, really. And we put up 42 points. And so you can always do upgrades, but you're right. I don't think it's a need. It's more of a want for sure.
But the thing is, you've lost 2 of your starting corners for the year now. I mean, that's like your depth is now really getting tested. Your front line's gone. Your second line's now your first line, and you've not really had to go down into your second line yet. So I think there is depth that is needed if you want to go on a run, because the NFC North is ours. Really, you've got to start looking beyond that now and what you need to progress there.
Sir Angel says, can we give some credit to our kicker? We was worried he's been solid. He hasn't missed an extra point or a kick yet. And it's a testament to all special teams. Punter, kicker, and coverage. Dave Phipp has got these guys playing best special teams in a long time. And it is 3 phases. So shout out to the special teams. I'm always doing it in each post-game video. Shout out to the special teams. They're not allowing anything crazy happening over there. They're just doing their thing, and it's good to see. And it's also the fact that we're not doing long field goals, and which is great. Look, if you can't do a long field goal, then go for it on 4th and 1, right? So I concur with that. It's putting your players in position for success, not failure. Like the Raiders doing a kick last night when you probably think he probably gonna miss it, and he missed it. So that's not success. Let's see. Number of percent of coaches going for it on 4th has spiked since DC became the Lions coach, and is correct. What effects is he having on other coaches in game and strategy? That's exactly what he's doing. A lot of people are now going for it more on 4th down here. And well, the analytics say 4th and 1 and 4th and 2, go for it. That's because Dan Campbell started this trend. There, Dan. With the bark.
Well, I know LaFleur said a couple of weeks ago when he played us, he was visibly affected by Dan Campbell's 4th down play calling and the fake punts and everything like that. It threw him off. So it absolutely is his aggression, because you don't know when he's going to do it no more. In the previous years, he's sort of just been aggressive all the time. Now it's very subtle when he's aggressive. And I think it absolutely does 100% affect, because we are very aggressive on these 4th downs now. And we'll keep going for it, even if we fail on one. And teams are not used to it. So it is absolutely changing the way that other coaches think about us and how they game plan for us.
Yeah, you expect anything. Fletch Lives Matter says, do you think that we go for a 4th down every time or outside the 35 instead of a field goal? It depends how many yards. And is it windy? Stuff like that. In dome. But I think if it's 4th and 1 and you're at the 35, I think they go for it. I do. 4th and 2, I think they go for it probably. Because look, if you miss the field goal, you give the other team about another 10 yards. Okay, like around 7, 8 yards, whatever it is. And so you would rather go for it and fail than kick and miss it.
And I think it shows trust in your offense. It gives them, because how many times, like when Fat Matt was here, did you see Stafford wander off the field looking completely dejected because he doesn't trust him to convert these fourth downs and that? Our offense now looks so confident because of the way they trust them to go out and make these plays. Like the other day, we busted that 4th and 4, and turned it over. But then next drive, 4th and 1, critical, we got a touchdown on it. No hesitation. You guys can do this. Go out, get what you need. It gives your offense confidence that you believe in them to do it. And conversely, I think it makes them better. So absolutely keep going for it. Your offense is hot. It's confident. Why not? And you've got a great play caller who designs really good plays for them. So
if it's 4th and 1 and you're at the 35 and you have David Montgomery, 99 out of 100 times he's going to get that first down. This dude, it just breaks tackles. And if they're like, you know what, let's power forward, I'm not going to argue with that because Montgomery is damn good and he gets those. So it's like it's kind of like a cheat code or a game genie. The 302 kid, is Chase Young still in the mix, Dan?
No, I don't think so. I think if they go for somebody, it's going to be more interior.
Dave Biddleman, any more clarification on Gibbs' injury and what's Mitchell's status? Don't know any more about Jahmyr Gibbs' injury, and Mitchell's status has been interesting. I don't know. I have no idea. Does anybody on here know anything more?
He's injured, isn't he?
Yeah, Gibbs, he'll be fine. If it was a more meaningful game last Sunday, he would have played. It was a slight tweak from what I've got. And as far as Mitchell, he could be out this weekend too. I think after that, he's going to be fine.
Don says, I just don't want to wear Montgomery out. Yeah, I can understand that for sure, but he's a good back. But guess what? You got Craig Reynolds. When he's getting a little bit tired, give it to old Craig Reynolds. He did a whole damn drive last week. It was all on Craig Reynolds getting that touchdown. So, I'm not really worried about, the Lions' run game. I'm just not.
Dude's got 5 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. You don't get that by, been off the field. He churns all the time. All that he did for Chicago, and he's getting hit a lot less here. A lot of his carries now, he's untouched. So I think his workload's fine.
Outbox Assembly Services, you know how to improve your secondary pressure. Get Crosby restructure his deal. Pay him as much as possible this year, but that requires 2 teams to want to trade. Right. Would the Raiders trade him after winning a game? I don't think they're going to do that. If they're a 1-win team or a 0-win team, maybe they would consider it. But when you just win a game and the main guy was the reason you won the game, probably not going to trade this guy.
No. And you got Pascal coming back again. Yeah. He's going to be another great pass rusher on this team. So you don't need to go and overpay him that. Pascal will be a good pass rusher in his own right. So
let's see. Biggest concern going forward across the board to me is just injuries. But that's for every team. Injuries is right now. The Lions can only hurt the Lions, in my opinion, and that's injuries. But even though we got great depth, but still, you don't want to lose starters. Is there any major concern for you, Dan, and then Ant?
To me, it would just be addressing the secondary. Maybe I guess in the next couple of weeks we're going to get a lot of our injured players back. Houston. I get most of us aren't a big fan of Matt Nelson, but looking at what's available out there in free agency, he does kind of stand out. So just keeping healthy here and there when we can, sort of like last weekend, taking a few carries away from D Money would be probably a wise idea, saving him for the bigger games and down the stretch.
Any news on Coda? Because I liked him, Ant-Man.
I have no idea. I'm pretty sure he's on a different team now, isn't he, Chase Coda? Pretty
sure
he's
I don't know if he's active or if he's on a practice squad. I know he got taken by another team. I just don't know.
He's not here no more. So, But as for this team, it's a Goff injury. That's all you fear at this point, because we've been tested injury-wise. Our depth has held up very well so far. So it is literally an injury to Jared Goff now, which is the only thing that really concerns me.
We should trade Kabinda in a pick we barely use. Ain't no one taking Kabinda. And man, ain't no one gonna get a conditional 7th round pick from 2026 for Jace Kabinda. I'd love you get a banana for Kabinda. I think that'd be a steal of a trade. But let's see. Is it a good thing that we played Minnesota 2 the last 3 games of the season? It's not a good or a bad thing. We could have the NFC North locked up by not even playing them at that point. So it just depends what the record is. And they maybe they've traded players because they're a team that's not looking too good. For sure. Let's see. Lions talk with the bad guys, says Mike or Mike. Isn't it time you go back and clap your Oh my god. Do you think that Julian Aquara could be valuable in trade bait? Do you think he could be valuable, yeah, man?
He could be trade bait, but not valuable. I mean, he got 3 snaps in the last game, and that was it. And I think once Pascal's back, he's toast. And if not, then when Houston's back, he's definitely toast. We don't need him. We really don't need him, apart from special teams. So when our better pass rushers are back, he's done. I don't think you'll get one of those deals. You'll get a conditional 6th in 2025 or something like that. And that's probably the best you can hope for.
Just want to congratulate all you guys on your success of your channels. Dude, you guys ever imagine that you'd have this type of success? Absolutely not. I had no idea. I did this for fun. End up being something really cool.
Yeah, the same. I just started doing it for fun, and that's it. And here I am now.
The same with Roar over there. Tell him about it.
We didn't even think anyone was going to listen to us over there. So we're a British, we're a bunch of Brits. I mean, like, you know, it's like, do the Americans really want us talking to them about their game? It's like, nah, there'll be a couple of people listen over here, and that's it. I mean, we could not have envisioned it at all. And we love you all because there's so many great guys over there who do this. You don't need to listen to us over in Britain, but you do anyhow. You're all crazy like me, and I love it.
We got Eminem saying, Eminem searching for greatness. Patrick, cornerback from Denver. So M wants to get Patrick Surtain. M was at the game on Sunday over there getting it done and repping Detroit. Loved it, man. I wish I was at that game. That would have been really, really fun for sure. Do we re-sign CJ Gardner-Johnson if we go to the playoffs? Man, I don't know. What do you guys think, man? I'm just going to put, I don't know. Because I have no idea on this one.
Well, I've heard that they say he'll be fit for the playoffs if we go there.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a thing there, but we wouldn't need to re-sign him if we made the playoffs because he'd be here.
No, I think it'd be after.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends with Branch, really, doesn't it? Because he's kind of our version of that. And we've got a lot of expensive contracts coming up in the near future. If you can develop Branch to be your next CJ, that's one less expensive contract. I'd love him to come back personally, but you've got to look at it from a roster building standpoint. We've got a lot of money due in these upcoming years, and we've got to be very careful so that we can afford to keep all these guys.
Bold prediction: he comes back for the playoffs. That's my bold prediction. CJ Gardner-Johnson will be playing on the Lions' home playoff game. That's my bold prediction.
I think he'll be back for the first Minnesota game.
I mean, if Aaron Rodgers can do it, I mean, with his injury, quote unquote, then Gardner-Johnson surely can.
Lion says, with the bad guy, John Kapler, do you not like it when people say naughty things on your channel? Well, I'm not on my channel. That's the thing. thought you was cute on the other channel, didn't you? I got ammo for days now. Ha, ha, ha. Hey, you can shoot that ammo, but I'm on a different channel. I'm not on my personal channel. I do appreciate it, though, because I do like saying I do that stuff all the time. I love going on my personal channel and just being free, being myself in the comment section. It's the best thing in the world. What week will our opponents have dealing with a problem, aka James Houston? Oof, I don't know. I have no idea. We're still waiting on James Houston when potentially he could come back. I think it's week 9. He's eligible to return. Is it, or week 8? I don't. It's one of those. But I don't know. Do you guys have any indication on this one? Because I seriously don't know.
I think he'll be back around Thanksgiving.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
A lovely scenario would be to wrap up the NFC North with a few games to go and just let him bed in those games, give him loads of snaps, get him ready for the playoffs. That would be lovely.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Does the Patriots have any pieces we could use?
I can tell you that.
Can we have a lifetime ban from trading for Patriots players, please?
Yeah.
That's PTSD. Even if they're great, I just don't want to do it ever again.
They're a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I'm done trading for. I have had enough bad Patriots trades to last a lifetime. I'm good.
Smoke says, I have a feeling something great is coming very soon. Hey, it's been happening all year. It's been great. Lions season so far has been amazing. And I think more greatness just continues to come. Ankle fracture, Christmas, he's saying, Lauren, around Christmas time. Hey, look, man, if these guys come back before the season's over, that's awesome. Like, at this point, I feel like the Lions definitely going to win the NFC North. I think Van Jefferson traded to the Falcons. Did that just happen? Well, if he was traded to the Falcons, there you go. Somebody asked before, would the Lions trade? There you go. Did it actually happen? Well, Rod Detroit is not a liar, so I'm going to say it happened.
Hey, they must think they can still make the playoffs. That's what being in a rubbish division does for you. You can make these plays and not be good.
100%. 100%. Yeah, and look, I'd love to face the Falcons if they were the team that come to Ford Field. That would be just the greatest way to start your playoff run.
I think it's going to be us versus the Rams. Rams at Ford Field.
So you're facing Matthew Stafford. Oh man.
Hey, when he was drafted,
I don't even want to.
Prophecy that Matthew Stafford would get the Lions their first playoff win since Eric Kramer. Prophecy can hold true if he comes to Ford Field and loses.
I don't want to run that. I don't want to run that risk. I don't want to have to run the risk of him winning a playoff game at Ford Field and it being with another team.
So we have been on for about an hour. Ant-Man, tell the folks why they need to subscribe to Roar of the Lions UK.
Because you're crazy and want to listen to Brits talk about American football other than Americans. But no, you can find us at Roar of the Lions UK. We go live on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. If you want to come and hear all about the Lions from a different point of view, from a British point of view, then come check us out. We do try hard with it. So, yeah.
Tell the fans about your channel there, Dan, and why they should subscribe.
Come on over to Lions Talk Live 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to roughly 7:30, 7:45 a.m. Got a good, solid group of people. Come on in, talk about Detroit Lions game day. We go over the matchups, things like that. There's breaking news. I try to get it on the horn ASAP.
Yeah, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. These guys are working hard, folks, and they're putting out the content. Subscribe to their channels, watch it, and enjoy it. With that said, adios. Peace.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now.